Hi guys, today I'm reviewing the newly designed Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. It's 19 inches tall, 8 inches wide, and 9.5 inches deep. It weighs 16 pounds. The cord length is 55 inches. This Kuvings comes with a 10-year limited warranty. Kuvings sent me the sample so I can tell you what I think of it. The leather-like finish on the body looks modern. The design is very clean, nicely sealed. I don't think any liquid could get into the motor. The bowl just drops in, there's no locking or turning. It has markings in milliliters and ounces. It holds up to 13.5 ounces or 400 milliliters. Open the cap and the juice flows out, and this is where the pulp comes out. It's a little bit larger than the last model. This is the strainer and the rotation wiper. This keeps the strainer clean while juicing. Match the red dot on the strainer to the red dot on the bowl. This is the juicing screw. Push it down until it's seated. Make sure to push the screw all the way down, then put the drum lid on. There's a red dot on the lid that matches up with the red dots on the strainer and the bowl. Turn to close. The chute is 3.2 inches wide, a little bit wider than the last model. You can put slim produce like carrots and celery, rolled up kale through the opening, or open to put in larger fruit like whole apples or oranges. Since the chute is a little wider, you can leave produce in bigger pieces and spend less time cutting up fruits and vegetables. This is the pusher. There's a plastic container to catch the pulp, and a container to catch the juice. There are markings in liters and ounces. This holds up to 1 liter or a little under 34 ounces. With the juice cup, there is a mesh strainer that you can use if you like, if you want your juice to have not even a little bit of pulp in it. A coarse strainer to be used when making nut milks and hard fruits and vegetables. A blank strainer for processing frozen fruits into sorbets. This is the lid opener in case the lid gets stuck. Hook it on here, 2 cleaning brushes, and a cleaning tool. Go back and forth under running water, and the brushes help clean the strainer. There's a quick guide to assemble and disassemble. The manual is very detailed, tells you how to prepare produce. Put your produce in 1 piece at a time. Cut hard veggies like carrots into about 2 inches long. Leafy vegetables like kale bundle up, and the stems should be cut into 2 inches. Soft fruits like apples and oranges leave whole or cut into just a few pieces. Whatever can fit through the opening with the lid open. There's also a recipe book with recipes for basic juices, baby food, nut milks, soup, cocktails, smoothies, and frozen desserts. The pictures are gorgeous and the recipes look pretty good. The on button is in the back of the unit. Just press forward and that will turn the unit on. It pulls down the ingredients. Pressing reverse pushes ingredients back up in case the juicer gets jammed. Turn the juicer off, hold the reverse button for a few seconds until the ingredients get unstuck, then off and forward. Leave the cap closed if you want to mix juice from different produce in the bowl, and you can open it when you're finished juicing. Or you can leave it open and juice flows out as you go. I leave it open because there's a good chance I won't pay attention and the bowl gets full and overflows. We'll try juicing some kale, celery, carrots, apples. If they're too big, I'm going to cut them in half or a quarter them. And beets. Beets are extremely hard and we'll see how the juicer handles the beets. I've washed all the produce. Everything's organic, so I've left the skins on. Vegetables like celery and kale can wrap around the strainer and get stuck if you put it in whole. So do make sure to cut it up into big pieces. I think this is the first time I've been able to put a whole apple in the chute of a juicer without having to cut it up. That's definitely a plus. For the carrot, celery, and kale, close the lid and put them right through. Wad up the kale as best as you can. The beet is small and it also fits whole, so we'll see how that works. When you're juicing leafy greens, always follow with a hard fruit or vegetable. So we'll alternate the kale with the apples and the carrots. The unit's assembled, closed, plug it in, press the button in the back to forward, and we'll start with carrots. Make sure you take pits out of stone fruit before juicing, and also remove the skin from pineapples, mangoes, oranges, and melons. Open the lid and try a whole apple. The beet. Use the food pusher if you need to. Try another apple. The juicer pulled down all the produce, so I didn't even have to use the food pusher. There's really not much work you have to do with this juicer. It seemed to do everything without any help. I'm finished with my last apple. Let the juicer run about 30 seconds to make sure all the juice is extracted from the pulp. Before you move the cup, make sure to close the cap so it doesn't drip on your counter. There's no dripping from the spout, which is good. A rainbow of juice. Looks really gorgeous. You've got rainbow juice and rainbow pulp. The pulp is solid, it's like a block, and it's pretty dry, so you can see that most of the juice has been extracted. You can always remove the foam if you don't like it, or stir it in and drink it. What can I say about kale, beets? Everything's very earthy. The juice is nice and sweet though, from the beets, carrots, and the apples. You saw the juicer had no issues with the hard beet. It didn't get stuck, it just went right on juicing. I know people like to throw in large whole carrots and large celery sticks, but in general with any juicer it's best to cut up your produce. Apples are softer, so the juicer can handle it whole. Oranges without the peel, of course. I only put in one beet, but the juicer handled it very nicely. If you want to try out this Kuvings, I've put a link in the description below. Run some water to clean the unit. Pour the water in, let it run for a few seconds, and then open the cap. Remember, this holds 13.5 ounces of water, so don't pour more than that. Unplug the unit and then disassemble it. The pulp outlet is bigger than the last model and easier to clean. Wash everything right after juicing for fastest cleaning. If you wait, food gets stuck on and it takes longer to clean. Rinsing the bowl out was easy. There are no fibers stuck anywhere. The juicing bowl doesn't have a flap like the one in the last model. The screen looks really clean. Besides the strainer, all the other parts just require a rinse underwater. If you need to clean the silicone parts, the brush pulls out from the rotation wiper, the silicone ring comes off the strainer, and the cap is removable. The base can be wiped down with a damp cloth. Dry all the parts before using. Now I'm going to make a frozen fruit sorbet. Use the blank strainer, match up the red dot on the strainer to the red dot on the bowl, put the screw in, make sure to push it all the way down, and close the lid. Make sure to leave the cap open. All you have to do is feed the frozen fruit through the chute. I'm using frozen peaches, mangoes, and strawberries. I've left the frozen fruit out for about 5 minutes. They should be a little thawed. They shouldn't be used right out of the freezer. Really smooth, very tasty and healthy. And that was done really quickly. Let it sit for a minute and your sorbet will be less icy. As always, I do look for something to complain about and some little design flaw or any part that could be improved. But with this juicer, I really couldn't find anything. I would say it's one of the easiest juicers I've used. You saw how this new Kuvings juicer did on the hard vegetables, the fruit, and the sorbet. It looks good, it's designed well, and seems solidly built. Worked with no issues, cleaned up quickly, and extracted a good amount of juice. If you want to try out this Kuvings, I've put a link in the description below. As always, I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more reviews. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.